So what are you expecting tomorrow night? You're expecting Gonzaga to give us something first? Is it Chet Holmgren? Is that where we're going first tomorrow night? What do you think?
The first thing, Rich, I'm expecting is solid sort of liquid intake management on my part, because this is my 20th draft, and it becomes more difficult to go 6 hours without taking a leak than it used to be. So tomorrow is going to definitely be very much a dry day until after the draft.
Smart move.
Have to exit. Yeah, I don't have to exit the desk in a hurry. But yeah, it's going to be. I think the top three are pretty solidified. I mean, I still think, there's a chance that, I think a lot of people are expecting Jabari Smith of Auburn to go number one to Orlando. I happen to agree with that, but I don't discount the possibility that Chet Holmgren of Gonzaga goes number one. That's somewhat of a coin flip to me. And then Paolo Banchero, I think, is locked in at number three to Houston. And Sacramento has the fourth pick, and I think Jaden Ivey of Purdue will be the fourth pick. Now, whether Sacramento keeps that pick or not, we'll see. But I think that's the top four, and then really, I think what happens at number five is what really starts the people questioning whether it's the right move or not.
So let's take it a couple at a time right here. You just mentioned it's your 20th NBA draft, and you've been watching drafts forever and a day. Before all that, has there ever been a first overall pick, let's just say in Chet Holmgren, who then gets worked out by his new strength and conditioning coach on the spot, on the stage? Has that ever happened before, Jay?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like when Kevin Durant came out in 2007, and we got all wrapped up in the fact that the combine, he couldn't lift 185 pounds. And we were like, oh, my God, he can't do this. And it's like, they don't stop the game for a bench press contest. He'll be fine. And he's turned out to be better than fine. And same thing with Holmgren. Like, he's got a Sean Bradley body, which doesn't sound good, given that Sean Bradley, rest in peace, was not a great NBA player. But the game's changed, and Holmgren's a different player. He's not a low post, a big guy. He's a perimeter player he's kind of a baby Giannis in the way he plays, except he shoots it way better than Giannis. He's a 40% three-point shooter, and he really can grab a rebound and bring the ball up with guard skills. He can pass it, can spin in the lane and finish with either hand. I mean, he's a fantastic talent, and I don't think there's going to be a problem for that body in the league. It's just I've had a mental hurdle to get over. It's like my old man Neanderthal basketball brain kind of looks at that body going, wow, how's that going to hold up in the NBA? And the NBA is not a tough man contest. In fact, some of the power forwards that used to play in the league and were the big tough players probably wouldn't be in the league right now because they're not coveted. They might make a team, but they wouldn't be starters like they were because they can't stretch the floor and shoot it. And, the game's really changed in that regard. And Holmgren, I think, is a reflection of that kind of change. He's a perimeter big guy. He's not a low post guy. So
we were, while you were talking about him, we were showing a couple pictures on the screen from, Gonzaga's season. While we're just on the subject matter of Gonzaga, are you surprised that Drew Timme earlier this month withdrew and said, I'm going back to school for a senior year? Were you surprised by that?
Not really. He did the same thing last year, and I don't know. It's easy to say he enjoys college or all that. He'll be the player of the year this next year, just sort of as he was right there for it this year. He probably looks at his experience as being some unfinished business as far as winning a national championship. They could have done it a couple years ago. They had a chance last year and got knocked out before the Sweet 16, or before the Elite Eight, which hardly ever happens with them. I don't know all the reasons he came back. I'm, selfishly glad I get to watch him another year because he's a fantastic player to watch.